What's good everyone, it's Steve from Sneaker Tech Talk, back with another video today. For today's video, we will be taking a look at the 3-month wear test update of the Air Jordan 1 High 85 in this black and red colorway. So without further ado, let's take a look at how the shoes are holding up. Alright, so before we take a look at the shoes, I quickly just want to say that I have worn these shoes so much in the last 3 months. It's absolutely insane. If I had to take a guess hour-wise, I'm well over the 500 hour mark as far as the time that I've put in to the Air Jordan 1 High 85 in the band or black and red colorway. So like I said, without further ado, let's take a look at how this shoe is holding up. Alright, so like I said, I've worn these a ton. They're pretty dusty and dirty right now, as yesterday for Mother's Day, I did wear these to the park downtown here in Calgary. There was obviously gravel and such at the park for the kids, and we were running around and playing tag, you name it. So these are pretty dirty right now. They have had a ton of use in snow, rain, and just every kind of condition you can think of. But as always, starting at the bottom with the outsole right here. As far as the overall use, like I said, I've wore these a ton. There's not a ton of really star loss. There's a couple here towards the toe that are kind of peeling away a little bit, but more or less all the stars are still present. And that's a pretty crazy thing considering I've worn these for at least 500 hours. And I typically do not drag my heel when I wear my shoes. So there's really not a ton or any heel drag at all at the bottom right here. So the outsole on this pair has been holding up very nicely. I would actually have to say that I've worn these more than all of my other high 85s as far as the colorways, and I've worn especially that black and white pair a ton, but nothing touches on how much I've been wearing these in the past 3 months. So as far as the outsole goes, as you can see, more or less all the stars and not having any heel drag is a great thing as far as the longevity of the outsole of the Air Jordan 1 High 85. Now, as far as the midsole goes, as you can see, it is very dirty right here. It is pretty filthy. I'm definitely gonna have to give these a wash. I might do a video of me doing that and what I use to clean my shoes, as it's not what you would probably think. But as you can see right here, it's pretty dirty and grimy. I have not cleaned these at all in recent memory. I did give them a wipe down after the 1-month review, but since then I've just been wearing these, enjoying these, and I guess you could say kind of trashing these. And the midsole is pretty dirty on the right shoe. On the left shoe, it is more of the same, so it is pretty dirty as far as that rubber cup white sole right here. But again, I'm enjoying these. They've been great so far as the overall comfort and just what I'm using them for, and that is basically a daily beater. Now, as far as the comfort goes with this shoe, how is it holding up? Obviously in the heel, you do have an encapsulated air sole unit with polyurethane kind of around it. Honestly, you can't feel that airbag at all in Jordan 1s, basically for any Jordan 1 in my opinion. You do also have that cardboard strobo board, which is used for torsional support and rigidity for back in the day when these were considered high level, top notch basketball shoes. So again, everything underfoot is pretty flat. You don't really feel anything. As far as the insoles go, honestly, these insoles are completely cooked. Obviously you can see all the wear and tear and kind of just having my foot imprint here on the insole. The Nike Air has worn away a long time ago. I definitely think I need to give these a really good scrub and clean. The foam within this in the forefoot is pretty much still decent, at least I would say. It's compacted quite a bit. The heel though, there's nothing left. Like when I touch right here, you can feel my fingers on either side of whatever is left here in the heel. In the forefoot, it still has a little bit of bounce, but honestly, these insoles are more or less cooked. I think I might throw my Move all day insoles in this pair of Air Jordan 1s, because these guys right here, they definitely do not perform the same as the older polyurethane insoles that the brand was offering previously in the Air Jordan 1 High 85. And some might ask, why did they change things up with this yellow foam and this other white foam here with this kind of cloth topping right here? And that is because they were mimicking the Air Jordan 1 High 85 or 85s in general as close as they could, and this is more or less a 1-to-1 replica of the insole that you do get in the Air Jordan 1 originals back in 1985. So I am glad they did that, but it's not as comfortable as the high 85 previous retros. Just keep that in mind. It's a lot more flimsy and it does wear away pretty quickly, especially in the heel. And then a really big thing with this shoe is the materials. How have they broken in and how are they holding up? So as far as how they've broken in, it did honestly take probably around 10 or 11 hours to break these things in comfortably where they weren't causing any pinch points on the side of my foot, and the materials just breaking in nicely where they were more comfortable and really no issues as far as just pinching or just feeling super snug and tight on my foot. As you can see, the left shoe, the toe box has broken in super nicely. I think Jordan 1s look better with the more use that you put within them. Obviously this pair is pretty beat and pretty dusty. I will clean them up, so I will do a video after this one as far as how I clean them up and how they look. But as you can see right here, the toe boxes have held up nicely. I have been careful as far as not trying to scratch the leather, but that comes with the territory of wearing these almost every day. You know, running at the parks with the kids, going for bike rides, down by the water, by the river, just hanging out by the rocks. I haven't really had any scratches yet, but the leather is definitely holding up really nicely across the board. Probably when I clean them, I'll be able to see a little more of the wear and tear on the leather, but the toe boxes are really nice. The red leather has become really nice and soft in my opinion, and it flexes nicely with the foot, but the black stuff is still very rigid and firm. Honestly, it's super thick and it does remind me of the neutral gray Air Jordan 1 high 85s. It's just very firm to the touch and it takes forever to break in, and here we are probably around 500 hours in now, and these are really breaking in nicely, but the black stuff is still pretty firm. As far as the stuff with the mid panels here, honestly, really no issues. The red leather again is a lot softer. Not really any kind of issues as far as threads coming off. So for me, in my opinion, the materials have held up very nicely. I'm really enjoying how this shoe has broken in and how they feel. A quick look at the left shoe. Throughout, you do see a lot of dirt and grime. Obviously a ton of creases here on the black leather, on the red leather, but overall, I really enjoy the build of this retro. I do think it is superior to more or less all the other previous high 85s. I will say the black and white pair had really soft leather compared to all of them across the board. So that was nice because they broke in a lot quicker. But I do think this is more or less the closest we've got to the 85 pairs, minus this collar issue being so thin. I think if they went straight across and filled in this little gap right here to the back and had a thicker back collar, these would be like almost one-to-one with the originals in 85, minus the midsole being a little bit thinner as well. But overall, I really think this is the best black and red retro we've ever seen from the brand. The 95s were decent. The 2001s were changed up with a suede swoosh. And then we've had a ton of retros since then that just haven't quite ticked all the boxes in my opinion, but this one right here has done a great job. As far as the tongue goes, it's still very puffy and comfortable on foot. As you can see right here, it's really maintained the foam within this tongue. I've really enjoyed the comfort. They did change up the tongue as far as the nylon on the front of the tongue, and then the padding I find a lot thicker and a lot more comfortable with this pair right here. One of my only annoyances with this shoe is the fact that I find the laces to be a little bit short. Like, I don't think I could go through the top eyelet even if I wanted to. There wouldn't be much lace left to tie the shoes up. So that is one thing. They did change the way the laces are manufactured and the overall print on the lace, but I just find the length to be a little bit short. So I think I might pick up a 170 centimeter pair from Foxtrot Uniform in their solid black lace because it's the exact same print, but they're just a little bit longer than what you get here on the men's Air Jordan 1 High 85. But sound off in the comments what you guys think of this retro. Did you pick it up? I have noticed in Canada the prices to be dropping a lot. Like the men's pairs are around $500 Canadian, which is around $400 American. But then if you go on StockX through the US app, the sizes and the prices are way different and a lot higher. I was talking about this with an individual, Mike from Instagram, on how his pair is more expensive in US dollars on the US app than it is on the Canadian, which just doesn't make any sense. But I am very happy with this retro, so sound off in the comments if you have a pair. Have you been wearing them? Are you wearing them very sparingly, or have you been beating them up on foot? And how is your pair holding up? Really quickly, I do want to cover the sizing with this pair right here. For me, I'm typically a size 10.5 in all of my Jordan 1s. These are no different. I went with that size 10.5, and I like a very snug and secure fit. My toe is right near the end of the shoe right here, just the way I like it. I don't like having a thumb's width at the end of the shoe. I just find that once it breaks in, it becomes too roomy for my liking. So I do enjoy the snug overall fit of this shoe with my toe right near the end. Keep in mind the toe box is very slanted and tapered with this retro, so it does feel pretty snug on foot, especially with the leather being really raw and firm. But once it breaks in, it feels really relaxed and nice on foot. So I would say true to size unless you're a really wide footer, or if you like about a thumb's width, then maybe go up half a size with this retro. So that's gonna do it for today's update on 3 months of wear, over 500 hours with this pair on foot. Sound off in the comments what you guys think on how these are holding up so far. For me, the biggest issue being the materials. I think they're holding up great. Obviously the outsole with really more or less no star loss at the toe, a little bit of wear right here, and no heel drag at the back. I think these are holding up very nicely. I might tuck them away a little bit, but I know a lot of people are gonna want a 6-month and probably a year update. So we'll see about that. But in the meantime, I think I'm gonna give these a nice clean to kind of clean up the materials, the midsole and the outsole of this pair. But sound off in the comments on how you think my pair is holding up so far with so many hours of use. But like I said, that's gonna do it for today's video on an update of 3 months of use with this pair right here. But as always, if you guys could like, comment, and subscribe, that would definitely help the channel a ton. And check out my Instagram over at Sneaker Tech Talk, as it is an extension of my YouTube channel with all my pickups, basketball footage, and nostalgia as a whole. As always, thanks for watching today's video, and until next time, peace.
I'm in line with the stars, I'm in sync with the earth. 10 toes deep, flower child from the turf. I never switch sides, like even when I die, I'ma ride for the squad, let her ties in the hearse.